pigs. Big pigs. Now that I've finished with the morning chores, I think what I'm going to do is continue working on the crawl space, getting rid of that mold. So I'm going to suit up and head down there and spray. I haven't heard back from the manufacturer yet, so I think what I'm going to do is just spray all of the heavy mold areas. I'm going to do one pretty thick spray on the boards with heavy mold, and I'm just going to let it sit there for a while, and then I'll come back and do another spray. So instead of doing a heavy spray, wait 10 seconds and a heavy spray, I'm just going to do a heavy spray, let it soak in, come back maybe an hour or two next day, I don't know. So I'm going to go down there and spray. I'll bring you guys with me, you guys can watch, and just continue the process of getting rid of that mold. Okay, it has been a few hours since I finished the spraying down in the crawl space. Finished is not the right word, since I stopped. I ran out of the RMR-86 solution. I have to buy more, but it's looking really good. I'm really happy with it, and when it airs out a little bit more, I'll get some shots of what it looks like and do a before and after, so you guys can see the difference of what today brought. So we have about an hour before a big thunderstorm comes in, supposedly, and I thought that I would take that time to plant some tomato starts that I have. You can see behind me I have my Gorilla cart. It's full of compost. It's mushroom and leaf compost with a little bit of topsoil mixed in. And I was originally just going to plant them by the potatoes that we have over here, but I read that potatoes and tomatoes are not good companion plants, and so you need to have them at least 10 feet apart. So I was trying to think where I wanted to plant these starts, and then I remembered that here next to the house it gets sun most of the day, and when I was backing up the trailer a couple months ago, it was wet, and the weight of the trailer created a dip in the ground. Let's see if we can see it here. You can kind of see it, the dip in the ground right there, which is about 8 inches deep, and that's a perfect row for me to plant in. So what I'm going to end up doing is mounding a bunch of the compost that I have, putting the 10-10-10 fertilizer that I have, and transplanting the starts, the tomato starts in there. I have pear tomato and black Kraemer tomato that I'll be planting here, and it gets a pretty good amount of water when it rains here, and there's a good place for it to drain off as well, so it won't hold the water and cause root rot? Is that what it's called? So I'm just going to get started. I'm just leave you guys here, and you can watch as I do this. I hope to beat the rain, the thunderstorm. So I'm just going to get going. These guys are long overdue to be transplanted, so I hope they do well. I have to split the roots. It's going to be a pretty big shock for them, but I'm going to give it a try, and better than just having them sit here and just die. And before I get started, I want to show you this. So I have this product called EB Stone Organics Sure Start. It's a starter fertilizer for use at planting time. So when you have a start and you transplant it into the ground, you take a pinch of this stuff and put it in the hole that you just dug for the transplant, and then put the transplant in there. And this is really good fertilizer for the roots, and it gives them a better chance of growing, helps them with their shock, gives them all the nutrients that they need. So I'm pretty excited about this stuff. It worked really well for us in Portland. I tried it in our small raised beds that we have now, the temporary raised beds that we have now, and we'll see how it works here. So. And yes, I'm aware that I can dump the Gorilla cart and just dump the compost on the ground, but I figured I'd still have to be spreading it around and get it into the row, into this little divot here. So I figured it'd just be just as easy to scoop it out. All right, what are we starting with? Red pear. Oh boy. Yeah, that's pretty root bound. I'm going to be tearing a lot of roots apart, but hopefully they survive. And then we have black Kraemer tomato. All right, so here's the Sure Start, and I'm just gonna sprinkle in, make my hole. I'm gonna mix it around a little bit, and then plant, make my little bowl to collect the water. I'm trying to use all the tips and tricks that I learned from Mr. Wayne. Sprinkle in some Sure Start. You know what? I need to go deeper with these things. I forgot that with tomatoes, you can go deep and it creates a better root structure. So, dig in there deeper, more Sure Start, and create the little bowl. Get rid of that leaf. Something is so satisfying about putting plants in the ground. Okay. Sure Start. Take this little leaf off, stick it in there. This is the last red pear, the fourth one. What are you doing over there, Kinsley? Let's pray for this one. That one looks tiny. All right, let's do the 3 black Kraemer. There's actually 4. This one is pretty tied together, so I decided not to separate it. Take the bottom 2 leaves off, put them in the hole, bury it deep, make a bowl. Mr. Wayne, if you're watching, can you comment down below if I'm doing this right? Thanks. Actually, Mr. Wayne, I know I'm doing it right. I want you to comment down below and let me know if you're grinning ear to ear knowing that I'm using your technique. Well, there's a little tiny one right here. Maybe I'll split this guy off and see if he can make it on his own. I'll put him on the end. All right, take the 2 leaves off, put them in the bowl. Oh, put them in the hole. 2 leaves off, put them in the hole, bury it deep and create a bowl. All right, come on over to the next ones. All right, so this is the one, it looks like a twin. I really don't want to separate them right now. I'll let one survive and then trim the stronger one back later when I know that they're doing well after the transplant. Sure Start, leaves off in the hole, bury it deep, create a bowl. All right, and then this one little tiny itsy bitsy guy. Let's see if we can make this guy work. All right, that's exciting. So what I essentially just did was created a no-till bed because the RV tire created this trough for me, so all I had to do was just put compost down. I know technically it's not a no-till bed, I get it, I'm just playing around. But I'm very excited. Got 8 tomato plants in the ground. I'm gonna water them pretty heavily, and I'll probably put some cardboard around the perimeter of this to keep some of the weeds at bay. But all right, that's exciting. I'm very excited. All right, I'm gonna water them and then let's get inside before the rain starts. That's kind of silly. It's about to rain, why am I gonna water? So I'm gonna let it rain, and if it doesn't rain, then I will water. I'm going to use these landscape staples to keep the cardboard in place, and then I'm going to cover all of this with some straw. And these guys are super heavy duty. Oh boy, put it off. Two things. I decided to water anyway because I don't know if it's really going to rain, and since I just put the hay down, I don't want it to blow away if the wind comes in, so I'm just going to wet it down. Might as well water the plants too. And number two, the cardboard that I used, it had the front of it had, it was printed, it had color, and I know that you're not supposed to use colored cardboard for a mulch layer, but it wasn't going over, it wasn't going around the plants, it was just going around the edges of the bed. And so I didn't think I had a high probability of any leaching happening into the fruit. So I think it's safe. And another thing, the water pressure here sucks. So I can only use the hose for about 15 to 30 seconds before the pressure is just not enough. I have to let it build up and do it again. That's on the to-do list of things to fix. Go away, bugs! Okay, all done. Calling it good. Bugs suck. Bugs in my eyeballs.